All right, you are now tuned into the Rotated Views podcast. I am your host, Jimmylee Velez. I'm here with Gabe, Mike Mumola, Kym D, and Joey Domenic. What's going on, everyone?
What's going on?
What's going on, Jimmy?
What's up? Night to give back. In this episode, we have special guests Kym D, Mike Mumola, and Joey Domenic. We cover topics that range from event planning, charitable giving, the community united, using our talents, and much more. We wrap the episode up with quotes by Emanuel, Swedenborg, and Henry Wadsworth Longfellow. If you're new, thank you for joining us, guys. Don't forget to download and subscribe. We drop a new episode every Tuesday morning for your listening pleasure. Kicking things off, Mike, Kym, Joe, welcome. Thank you for joining us.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Thank you for the great gear and everything coming into this, too. We really appreciate it. It's a fantastic thing you have going on here.
I love it. Hey, I like to spoil my guest. You guys coming on the show, I love it. With that being said, for those of us who do not know who you are specifically, let us know who you are and what you do, starting with Joe.
As soon as you said that, the only thing I thought about was Arnold Schwarzenegger. Who is your daddy and what does he do? Anyway, yeah, I'm Joey. I'm the owner of Dolce Vita Media. I dabble in a bunch of things. I do a little of this and a little of that. I do a lot of marketing, media, events, any type of promotion whatsoever. I just got one of my business cards that were a magnet sent to me by pushed my way by Jimmylee. So in my involvement in this Night to Remember is simply the marketing campaign, PR, and just trying to get the word out about helping two very special families. Other than that, I'm just a guy who's a father of two and a wonderful husband, I guess.
Awesome.
So, you're a good dude, Joey.
Oh, thank you.
You are a good dude. All right, Kym?
First, I'm a mom and a wife, and I do real estate. Just so you know, I'm licensed in Pennsylvania and Jersey.
Nice.
But first of all, my name is Kym D for my stage name, and I've been a professional singer for quite a few years now. And I figured being a professional singer, I can give back to the community, and it makes me feel good. So
awesome. Fantastic. Yeah. And we did have Kym D before on our episode, so check that bad boy out. And Mike,
Hello.
What is going on, man?
All kinds of great stuff. Thanks for having me, man.
Absolutely.
Been following what you guys are up to. It's really exciting stuff. I'm always excited to see guys like you and projects like this because the world needs more of it.
Absolutely.
My name's Mike Mumola. I am a trial lawyer by trade, founding member of a law firm out in Mercer County, New Jersey. We practice statewide, but we have colleagues throughout the Northeast and country, quite frankly.
Yeah.
So I've been doing that for about 18 years. I probably about 5 years ago or more now transitioned into a lot of other things. So now I do a lot of personal coaching, business consulting, public speaking, inspirational, motivational speaking, competitive jiu-jitsu, and entrepreneurial things that keep the world spinning in a positive way.
We knew you'd like him, Jimmy.
Yeah, I'm liking it. All right. Jack of all trades. My guy. My new best friend.
I've known this guy since we were, 19?
19 years old. I'll never forget.
Burger Bits.
Somebody came to me and said there was I don't even remember what the bar was, but there was
Center House Pub.
Center House Pub, I guess it was called. And somebody said, you have to come down. I was writing and producing dance music back then.
Okay.
And somebody said, you have to come hear this girl sing named Kym, and I went down. I was blown away. Kym and I ultimately ended up writing and producing some songs together, and we've been kind of together as friends and business partners ever since. She's an amazing person, and I'm always excited to be involved in whatever she brings me into.
And likewise,
very cool.
He was he was actually the first person I called.
Yeah.
So I'm like, if Mumola can't be my host, I am not doing this.
That's not true. She would have done it anyway.
So, Joey, how did you meet these two?
So I met Kym through a failed promotion that we were doing. I reached out to Kym about something about her trying to mend whatever offenses that were not so good, and she was just stuck to her guns. And then I met her through another venture that we were doing, the Stevie B freestyle concert that I was hired to promote. And obviously there was always that all right, let's try to feel each other out here. Yeah. And but obviously we became close and everything. And the next venture, that's where I met Mike, and it was actually at Kym D's video release party. And
Nice.
I remembered Mike. I was like, oh, okay. He was hosting that event, and the first thing I saw about Mike wasn't so much about how great of a host he was. It was like, whose Ferrari is that out there?
It wasn't mine. And it was a Lamborghini.
You know what? So I might have had a little.
Wow.
It was dark that night.
It was. There was a Ferrari there too, though.
Yeah. So
Was it really a Lambo?
It was green.
Okay, hang on. Time
That's
out.
another. I'll tell you about that. That's somebody else who I'm involved with. We do all kinds of exciting things.
Hold on. Had a little confusion between a Lambo and a Ferrari. It made me think of this Frank Sinatra quote. It says, "You buy a Ferrari when you want to be somebody. You buy a Lamborghini when you are somebody." Bam.
Some people would agree with that for sure.
Yeah, but you got to know the difference, though, right?
But then I can extend that one more level that I think you'll relate to.
Yeah.
It's better to be a Lamborghini than to own a Lamborghini. And that's
Wow.
what we strive for.
I love it. I love it. Excellent. Awesome stuff. All right, so this is all about a night to give back. So I don't know, whoever wants to jump in, can someone explain the event and how it came together?
All right, one night I was at the Bordentown Elks hanging out with a bunch of friends, and they were telling me about this boy from Bordentown Township who was suffering from Hodgkin's lymphoma. And I had heard his name here and there, had seen a few articles, and every time I saw his name or saw what was going on, it was just heart-wrenching.
Yeah.
And I kept telling my husband, Vinny, I think I should try and do something. I think I should try and do something. Then one night at the Elks, again, because I just can't stay away from the place, somebody who had done a fundraiser for the child actually had spoke to me that night about her cousin who had breast cancer or type of it for the third time.
Wow.
And I said, you know what, that's it. We're going to do a fundraiser. And I didn't even know her, didn't really know the kid. And I was like, you know, we're going to do something. Let's get the date locked down. Let me get some friends together. So I called Mike. I said, Mike, can you do this day? Then I called somebody else. Can you do this day? I'm like, Joey, do you want to get on board?
Yeah.
And before I said yes that we're going to do this, we had a whole team of people.
Wow.
And we did 7, 8 sponsors. Everybody had a particular job. I didn't want to be greedy saying, I want this amount of money. I want this. I said, okay, can you donate this? Can you donate that? This show is 100% funded by sponsors and caring people in the neighborhood.
Wow. That's wild.
And the entire $25 ticket is going to both families. So we're splitting it in half right down the middle.
Wow.
And that's like unheard of.
So what was the timeline? So when did you decide to make this bad boy happen to the actual event?
End of January.
Wow, so you put this together pretty fast.
Yeah, and too many hands in the pot spoil the soup. But
Sure.
it's like you want to try and just get it done quicker because the families need the money.
Yeah, for sure.
And we had heard from one of the friends that the mom's she's paying $40 a time for a copay every day. You're going to treatment for 6-8 weeks, $40 a day. It's not counting parking, not counting gas, not counting meals. So average it out to $75 to $100 a day. Wow. So for a person who's not working in the family, so $2,000 a month, hypothetically, can hurt or break a family who they don't have this in the bank or that, and you have other children too.
Yeah.
And she's a mother of 2 boys. And she has a husband and very caring family. And Gabe has siblings, and he has parents who couldn't work at one point or another because they had to bring him to treatment. Dawn rang the bell today. Woohoo! Bell. So she had her final treatment.
Congrats.
Wow,
34
that is
treatments
awesome.
and 4 to 5 chemo. And she was all excited because she didn't lose her hair.
Yeah,
So-
for sure.
And Gabe finished about 2 weeks ago.
Wow.
And they still have to get tested, but at the same time, this little bit can help them, relieve them if they want to do something, if, just to help.
Absolutely. All right, so with this event, you guys all put it together, you helped put it all together. What's your specific roles for the day of?
Joe's been marketing from the very beginning.
Nice.
On all the social media outlets, doing the things that I couldn't do. And Joe felt kind of bad because I was freaking out at one point because I felt like my hair was being pulled out. And he's like, Kym, calm down. It's okay. And then Mike has been gathering things together, and he's helping out with things, and he's just an awesome host.
So my role too, I guess, is I'm going to host and MC it, right?
Nice.
So I'll be up on stage in between the performances, keeping the crowd going, keeping them
Yes.
hyped, and making it a lot of fun. And let me just go back to Joey for a second. I just want to say just a big thank you to him for a lot of this. He's kind of the guy a lot of times that you don't see or hear from, but he puts so many great things together. He's behind the scenes on so many great things, and I have a lot of gratitude we talk about. I think you're going to talk about, but
Definitely.
thankful for a lot of the things he does for so many people.
Yeah,
That's
Joe's
awesome.
got a big heart, and he's like, Kym, I'm going to go to this person and go see if they want to help, do a gift to give away or to help with a basket or can I help you with that? And then even with Mike, you're like, hey, can we give this away? We have the jiu-jitsu owner.
Yeah, so we went out and we just talked
Talk
to
about
different
him.
people and got in different sponsors, vendors, opportunities. And one of the things we just got in with, I trained with a guy named Ricardo Almeida, who's a legendary UFC fighter, Hall of Famer. He's my partner on a venture, and
Nice.
he was more than happy to jump in and he's going to donate some introductory courses and things. So
Wow.
if you haven't gotten a ticket, if you haven't decided to come out yet, guys, come on out. It's going to be a great night. We're going to have some amazing people and opportunities there for a great cause.
Absolutely.
Exactly. And we had Carlo Vitale Inspections. He was donating a portion for the food. Also, Blend is a place in Hamilton on Route 33, along with Brothers Route 33. They just jumped on board. He went in there, Carlo went in there, say, I need this amount of food. And the guys asked for what? And they're like, well, we want to help. And that's how they jumped on board. And they've been more than giving.
Yeah.
We've also had New Jersey Buzz to help out with some of the advertising that night to do live footage. We also have you talk about Chris, because you know Chris very well. You might love Mr. Anderson, but you know him very well.
So Chris from Quantum Design Labs, me and him go way back, like in the music industry. He was one of the first people that I met through like all the. I got into this starting out just promoting music and so forth. Chris was pretty much the beginning of the punk rock scene when I grew up, and this guy's like level of, you know how much I told you that you should meet Mike Mumola because
Yeah.
of like you two have the same, so your hyperness
Yeah.
and Chris would probably escalate explode because you're both like so go-getter and like
I would need a Valium just to watch it.
I love it.
and so you call Chris, hey Chris, what do you think of this? Yeah man, like let's go, and so
Not to interrupt, but just imagine him playing poker in Atlantic City.
Oh,
No.
Wow.
He can't
Yeah.
sit that long.
So and I love Chris to death. So I'll text him one thing, next I'll get like 7 text messages back, and I'll respond with 7 other. No, but anyway, Chris's heart is amazing.
Yeah.
Chris would go out on a limb for you for no matter what. So obviously, the first time I went to Chris for his design stuff was in part of Kym's video release. I said,
cool.
listen, someone needs a step and repeat banner. Can you handle it? He was like, oh man, all right, let's see what we can do. So him and Kym hit it off right away.
Nice.
So he did that. So of course she called him and he put this together right away too. Like the guy's talent is beyond, I mean, his level of expertise in marketing and branding and so forth.
Branding.
It puts just his clientele.
Yeah.
His portfolio is out through HBO, Rider University. It goes beyond the guy is all around great.
Yeah.
So he donated this $1,000 banner that we're using that night.
Wow.
And he goes, Kym, I really just want to help. We got everybody's advertisements, and we also I reached out to Smyers Realty over in Bordentown City, who they were right on board from the very beginning. They're like, oh, Kym, anytime you do a show, we know it's quality. We want to help the community. And we've also reached out to Keller Williams Premier over in Hamilton on 33 or Nottingham Way. They're going to be helping out with the show. So other people have actually come to us to ask.
Yeah.
And I was like, we don't want to be greedy. We have things if you want to give a donation to the family. We want to make it not about me, because Joe was saying, I said, Joe, this is about Kym D and friends. This
Yeah.
is about bringing a bunch of people together who normally would not be together. Right, Mike?
Yeah. Community, and that's what it's about. And it seems like that's what's coming together. So it's really exciting.
Yeah.
And that's the one thing that I basically had to make it a point when doing the marketing and promotion and stuff. I've been waiting for someone to say this is like a Kym show, because this very much isn't a Kym show. And she's done her part in reaching out to everyone, asking for them to help and everything so forth. And she was like, I don't want to make this about me at all, because it's not, and it really isn't. It's about 2 families that are in need and a community coming together. And the way how fast the community came together is just this is awesome.
So what was your approach when you're reaching out to these businesses or these companies? Obviously, it's a compelling story, it's a touching story, and people do want to help. But what was your approach? Because these things they happen more often than not, unfortunately.
I'll say from my point of view,
Yeah.
when reaching out to certain people, honestly, I couldn't even get out the story out that quickly. People
Wow.
just know who was on board, and they were like, whatever, we got it.
Nice.
So like, and they were like, no problem, whatever it is, we're good. Like when I talked to, Carlo had already reached out to Pasquale and Antonio at Blend and Brothers, but when I went to talk to them, they were like, yeah, sure, like we already had someone, but yeah, now that we know you're in it too, we're definitely on board. Nice. But with Kym, like she can tell you her experience with stuff, but from my point of view, like we didn't even have to get out so much. Once we did, they're like, oh, we feel a lot better about it. But yeah, we're already in.
Yeah. You know what it is, too? The approach, you say, what was the approach? And the approach was, it's very simple, and it works. And it works on a lot of levels in life. It's to ask for help, right? And in our society, most of the time, people don't. Whether you're male or female, black, white, Asian, it doesn't matter your age, socioeconomic level. People don't like to ask for help because in order to do that, you have to show some vulnerability. And we don't allow that to occur as often as it should in our society. But when you do, magical things happen, and you're amazed at how quickly people just jump to. They do want to help. And so that's what Kym did. She said, we need help. We want to help. And all of a sudden, there was just this tidal wave of people coming from every direction willing to help.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you got to think, too, you have so much sometimes bad stigmata that if things have happened with certain the GoToFundMe pages and it puts a negative thing on things. Well, I'm not about that.
Right.
And even when people say, oh, why don't you go on Eventbrite and put your tickets up there? I said, no, I want to personally deliver to everybody and thank them.
Wow.
So that's how and Joey's like, knew what I said. I said, Joey, it's 250 tickets. I want to deliver them personally. Everyone come to my house or I'll come meet them. And that personal touch adds and makes more. Because then people ask, who's this for? I had people contacting me just to go pick up tricky tray baskets. We wound up not being able to do it, but we're doing something else in place of it. And they're like, no, Kym, we still want to give because it's going to help with the show.
Wow.
And this is just what we do. Yeah. I'm like, well, thank you. We really appreciate it. And I just wanted to bring a bunch of quality, caring people together. And it's not about me. It's not about them. It's about the families. Because every one of us, it could happen to every single one of us. It could be one of our kids.
Absolutely.
It could be your wives. It could be my husband. And I had a little scare with my husband just recently. They thought he had throat cancer. Wow. And thank God he didn't. But that puts things in perspective. Sure. You know?
Absolutely. I know for us, our dad passed away from pancreatic cancer in 2012, and we put an event together. So I know on the other side, the flip side, what it meant to us then. And it was just this outpour of the community, the way everyone comes together, and you're just like, right? We just stood back. I mean, we even did like a 50-50, and the winner's like, I don't want this. And they just gave it back. And it was just that outpour from, all the way up to Cedric the Entertainer gave us, boxes and boxes of drinks or whatever it was just for that event. And everything led into the finances. And I saw how much pain my mom was in, because you got to think, right? It's such a hard thing to just deal with. Wow, someone's dying for real. They have cancer. This sucks, right? But then you have to face the reality. Like, the cold reality is they have bills to pay, and those medical bills are no joke. Them bad boys just kept adding up, and it's almost overwhelming in a sense where you're just like, dude, I'm drowning.
And the medical insurance does not do anything for you anymore.
Right.
Even when you have 100% coverage, it's not 100% coverage.
Right.
It's they don't care about the people. It's a business.
Absolutely.
And it's sad.
Absolutely.
But it's the real truth and hard reality. And Mike, I'm sure you see it from all different aspects, from what you do and this and there. And
yeah, we see it all the time. We see it at my office, at the law firm. We help people. Life comes at you fast and hard, and you're forced to deal with it, like it or not. So we see it. I also sit on a national charity, the board of directors for a national charity called Man Cave Health, where we're focused on men's prostate cancer awareness. Okay. And we see things there that are just mind blowing. And so any opportunity.
But it's
like
amazing what you guys just did. You have to tell Jimmy what just happened last month.
Which one?
With the Man Cave, the one.
Oh, so the short version is the CEO, my partner, and the CEO of the charity, ultra successful. At 47 years old, he developed prostate cancer, and that was it. Stopped him in his tracks, and they said, if you don't get this taken care of, you won't see your 5 daughters graduate from college. And he said, I'm going to change everything and create a legacy. So we just opened the first Man Cave Health at Mount Sinai Department of Urology on Park Avenue in New York City.
Amazing.
And it's pretty epic, yeah. So we are on track. The goal is to do for men's prostate cancer awareness and treatment what Susan G. Komen did for breast cancer. And the idea is, and actually I was brought into it by a quote from from the doctor in the exotic car world, when they asked the doctor, why does this happen? They said, because men take better care of their cars than they do their bodies.
Wow.
And the reality of it is that no man should die from prostate cancer if you get tested and you do things. So the idea is we're on track to hopefully open a facility in every major city across the country within the next
Good
few years.
stuff, man. Good stuff.
See, I told you
Congratulations.
you'd
That's
like it.
awesome. Yeah, that is absolutely awesome. All right,
vibes.
so absolutely. To rewind it back, can you guys give us kind of like a picture or an image of what the night you guys want the night to look like? What are you specifically doing, Kym? Mike, I know you said you're hosting. Are you going in between? She's singing. Like, kind of break that down.
What's going to happen? People are going to come in. They're going to be greeted by a photographer on the red carpet.
Nice.
And we with the banner that we got from Quantum Design. Then throughout the night, we are going to be playing vinyl from vintage DJs of 70s and 80s vinyl. And then in
Nice.
between, Mike's going to be speaking, talking about what's going on. We want the families to have a good time.
Yeah.
Those who can come, they may not stay long. But everyone getting together, want a feel of unity that night,
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be a great party for a great cause.
Yeah.
A lot of great people, music, food, fun, dancing, drinking, vinyl.
Vinyl.
I love
Is
it.
there anybody out there who might not know what vinyl is if they're under the age of something? Well, they
Real
may,
records.
yeah, they may see milk crates being brought in for the first time to a club.
Love it.
Yeah.
I love it.
And then I'm singing, I did a little special treat. I'll be doing some acoustic with some friends of mine. And then I'll do like a 20-minute set. I'll be singing off and on all night long, a little bit of everything. But it's mostly just get everybody out there dancing, having a good time, like celebrating life, celebrating this event,
Absolutely.
celebrating getting people together who we don't even know.
Absolutely. You know what's crazy? You guys are beyond like you're organizing and jumping on radio shows and podcasts and all this other good stuff just to promote it. You're utilizing your talents, right? What does that mean to not only use your talents, but you're utilize them for a good cause? That has to have some level of fulfillment in life, some level of satisfaction.
You know, if I could take this one, it means everything,
Yeah.
right? Because it's so important to find yourself in
Yeah,
life, right?
yeah.
Because we all have a talent.
Sure.
Everybody does. Yeah, I'll never be able to sing like Kym. I know that.
Sure.
And I'll never be able to do for media what Joey does.
Absolutely.
So it's about finding, okay, this is what I could do. This is how I can make the world a little better in my own special way. And each of us doing that. So to be able to use what you have and to give it back to the world means everything. It really does.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And Mike has a way of getting people together too. When you walk into a room,
Yeah.
yo, Momola, what's up? Everybody comes up to him. Just like, it's crazy. He's like the mayor.
Nice.
But no one has a bad thing to say about him because he's so positive.
too sweet.
No, but you are. You're so positive, and you're always about helping people. And what you say is quality. It's a good thing, Michael.
Thank you.
Speaking of that, I think what you're putting out, this good karma, this blessing on these families, that's to not also be forgotten, right? I mean, you guys don't have to do anything. You guys don't have to do any of this, right? You could have just heard the story, kept it moving, been inspired, but now you're legitimately making an impact that they will never forget for the rest of their lives.
Something kept itching at me. I can't explain it.
Yeah.
Like I would sit there laying in bed, and I'm just like, I need to do something. It would just eat at me.
Yeah.
Then I'd ask my son questions. How was it at school today? What's going on with this or that? And then I think the icing on the cake was hearing someone else's story, and it just hit home. And I was like, I need to do something. I need to get this together, and maybe being the instrument to start it to be where it's at now. But I felt like something more had to be done.
Yeah, you know, one of the things I talked about kind of how I started changing a lot of what I do in my life years ago. And, transfer, not completely, but, from the corporate world into, I'm a lot more spiritual now.
Yeah.
I live completely differently. And a big part of that was the recognition that it's not about me.
Sure.
It's really not. It's
huge.
it's huge.
Yeah.
Things, I do a lot of coaching, like I said, and I talk to these younger guys and girls, and I tell them it's not about you. It's about everybody else. And this is a perfect example of that. That they have this idea that this happened to me or that happened to me, and I tell them it's not about you. It's about everybody else. And once you get a hold of that and you start living your life that way, everything starts to change.
Wow.
But you got to
That's
think too,
heavy.
when you say it's not about you, you turn it around too. and you make people see it from a different perspective. And I think people need to see that good vibe, that giving back.
Yeah.
And this was a true, what did I tell you, Joe? It was a true give back moment when I would tell people, I'm like, no one is accepting anything. Nobody is getting paid this night. It's not about that. And we had somebody who says, oh, I don't really do charity work. I'm like, okay, then you don't have to get involved.
Wow. Well, there you go. So Mike, you do a lot of, coaching. What would you, if you could, have something that you wanted to say to the kids, or if you kind of flipped yourself and you were in that position, what would you say to a very impressionable age of these kids and the families and the experience that they're currently going through? What advice would you give to get them through this?
To go through something like this, you mean, or in general?
Yeah.
It's to have faith.
Yeah.
In whatever you have faith in. And I don't know anyone's particular ideologies, but it's important to believe in something more powerful than yourself, right? Because going back to, it's not about us, it's about everyone else and everything else. And as long as you wake up in the morning and have hope and have faith and passion and believe in something and keep working every day. You know, people say, oh, he's successful or she's successful. It's really just one series of choices. They're piled on top of each other, one after the next over a series of 20 or 30 years. Sometimes it's not easy. Sometimes it's easier than others. But if you can just keep moving forward one step at a time and believing and keep grinding away at it, learn to embrace the struggle, learn to embrace the challenge, and even embrace as much as endure the pain, you'll get through it. And at the end, it's a great place.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What do you guys, outside of the financial help that this is going to give this family, what do you hope also comes from this?
You know, we hope that we help the families, obviously. We hope that we bring awareness, and we hope that we maybe spread that energy. Like I talk a lot about when I coach and when I consult with businesses, it's all energy in the universe, right? And if we can just put it out there and perpetuate it, then we've done our job. What do we hope for? Those kinds of things. Those are the immediate things we hope for. The other things we can't even begin to imagine yet, right? Because things will come from it that, you know, it's amazing. You do things like this and you walk down the street a year later and say, you know what happened? I saw you at that event and we did this and guess what I'm doing? You're like, wow, I could have never imagined it, but that's how the world works. Yeah.
Every day when I bring my twins to school, my little 5-year-olds, I give them hugs and kisses, nose, and I say, be kind.
Yeah.
If you be kind, it comes back. Yeah. And people remember, be kind. For that little kid who doesn't have all the friends sitting next to him, go over and be kind.
Yeah.
That's all I ask. Be kind, because words sometimes are sharper than a knife. And people just need to be nice and love one another and give it back and pay it forward, because like I said before, it could be any one of us in this position, and I wouldn't want that on anyone, but it's the truth in reality with things.
It was a crazy experience when we were going through this in my family. You start to lose something about you. I don't know what it is. Something disappears. I don't know what it is. Just because it's just this negative time, and you're trying to be positive, and then all of a sudden you hear, man, we did everything we're supposed to do, and then you get the news like, yeah, you got like 2 months, right? So that heaviness, I don't know what it was, but I was starting to lose something. So I don't know if it was like hope, faith, I don't know what it was. And we're just sitting there, and I'm just taking it, and we're taking it, and we're just trying to not show it, because my dad's there, and he's looking at us, literally waiting for someone to break, and we didn't. And we kept that strong faith. And then all of a sudden, an event like this that you guys are putting on together was put together for my dad, as I mentioned earlier. And all of a sudden, something started to come back, and it started to reel back in. The belief started to come back. And it was almost like, okay, we have to accept the reality, but now my belief in people, my belief in the community,
your faith in humanity came back again.
It came back. It was like kind of fading in this odd time. But then all of a sudden you see the love that was getting poured onto our family. I mean, we didn't ask for anything, and they just did it. It just happened the way it came together. It was someone else's idea. And it regained, and all of a sudden, regardless of what happens from here with Pop, the belief that we have in our community is just unreal. Yeah, that's some heavy stuff. All right, so let's switch it back up. So how are you guys? You guys all do your day job, so to speak. How are you guys managing? Because a lot of people are like, I work with a lot of people who's like, oh, I go home and go to bed. I'm going home, I'm going to go home and, eat something and call it a night. How are you guys managing? It's funny, right? An entrepreneur, a realtor, a singer. Joe has his, you have a day job and you do all this marketing stuff all at the same time. How is it that the go-getters somehow find the time? Isn't it amazing, right? You find the time.
Yeah, it comes down to a routine, right? And I'm not the routine guy. I'm so out there, and I tend to get involved. But I had to force myself when I decided I was going to live like this to build routines. And I decided, well, I didn't have enough time in the day to do this, so I started waking up earlier. Instead of waking up at 6 a.m., I started waking up at 4 a.m. So now I wake up early in the morning, much earlier than I ever did, and I have a routine, and I start things going at that point. And you make everything productive, right? You try not to waste time. You try to maximize everything and keep going until you hit the pillow at night.
Yeah.
So the way that you do it is to maximize everything, create a routine, and to make sure that you balance it. And so how do you do it? I know that there's a lot of spirituality around here and focusing on what's good and what's great. It's about you have to recenter, right? Because you can get caught up in something and it'll take you off track. You have to. For me, it's meditation. Nice. I get back into the meditation and it brings me back to where I need to be, and it keeps me going because I am involved in a lot of different things, just like Kym, just like Joey, just like you are.
Sure.
So that's the way that we do it. Making the time, not finding the time, right? But making the time. People go, how do you do that? How do you do this? How do you find the time? I don't find the time. I make the time.
Yeah.
Put it in your schedule, and then it exists.
I love it.
You make time for things that are worthwhile to make time for.
Absolutely.
And that's why I like with you guys, faith, hard work, and gratitude.
Yes.
It's family, and my family comes first. My husband says, "Babe, I'm like number 6 on your list." I'm like, "Nuh-uh." I was like, you got up to number 3. He goes, it's like the kids, then it's work, then it's more work, then it's singing, maybe your friends, then me. I'm like, no, it's not. I'm like, you're my husband. You're always number 1 with me, and I take it for granted that he's always there.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. It's just number 1 on which list?
Well, okay, the short list.
Yeah, no, I was just going to, on top of the faith, hard work, and gratitude in terms of the routine.
Yeah.
I work with, and, I said that I coach and I mentor and I do that. I also work with people, so I have coaches, I have mentors, right? Because I think I'm involved a bit in the MMA and jiu-jitsu and grappling world, and they'll all tell you that the most valuable people on their team are the coaches, the cornermen, right? You need somebody to give you that outside perspective. For me, one of my mentors told me, and it's something that I've incorporated into my routine, gratitude.
Yeah.
First thing in the morning when I wake up, I think of 3 to 5 things that I'm grateful for.
Wow.
And I play those through in my mind. And then the day, all hell breaks loose. And then when I go to bed at night, 3 to 5 things that I'm grateful for. And you rewire your brain. You train yourself to get into this habit. It's like a muscle, like anything else. And you start seeing the world differently. Yeah. And you become grateful for things. And things start to happen. Great things start to happen from that.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I mean, that's the whole, with those patterns, the faith, the hard work, and the gratitude, with the law of attraction constant, it never stops, right? So the fact that you guys are out here, promoting an event that's giving back, it's like it's being collected, right? And the universe is going to spit it right back at you in some way. It's going to be shaped and packaged totally different. But there's benefits to giving back. There's something about that. And I don't even know necessarily what it is. I don't know if anyone wants to answer.
It's an adrenaline rush.
Yeah.
Honestly, I do shows and you get paid for them.
Yeah.
I enjoy the ones that I don't get paid for more.
Yeah.
And don't take that into perspective, people. I am available to perform on a regular basis.
Absolutely.
But
she doesn't mind getting paid.
Exactly. I do not mind getting paid. But I enjoy going up there and people appreciating and knowing that you're doing it from your heart.
Absolutely.
Wholeheartedly, you're giving of yourself. And that's where it's got to come from, the heart.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I mean, look, when you talk about it, I think people get caught up into it's better to give than to receive, usually about 3 or 4 weeks before Christmas, and then it rolls out about 3 or 4 weeks after Christmas. Right. That's better to give than to receive. It's better. I teach kids that and everything.
It's too funny.
But if you can learn to live like that, you realize it's true. And I know a lot of really, really successful people. And I spend a lot of time with them. Yeah. And they'll all tell you, it's great to have amazing material things. It's fancy cars, big houses, jewelry, whatever you want. It's cool. the novelty wears off.
Yeah.
Giving back there's something magical in it, right? Because you're doing something that's incredibly powerful, that has the ability to change someone's life. Yeah. And there's nothing that touches it. Science is showing us that there's something that happens internally to us, right? Anatomically, physiologically, there's just something that happens inside of us. It creates an energy because we're love, man. That's what we are. And when we give it, we get it. And great things start to happen.
Yeah. That's awesome. So if someone could not make the event but still wanted to give back, is there a way for that, or?
We were during that night. We're going to have little stations set up for each family separately.
Okay.
But other than that, no, unless you wanted to send something directly to the family, and we can get you the information to go directly to them, because I didn't want to put my hands in that. It's
Sure.
too much to be responsible for.
Yeah.
But other than that night, it's $25 for the ticket. The entire $25 gets split. We're also doing a carnival game, which is guess the amount for prizes and
Nice.
other things. But for that most part, it's going to have to go directly to the family.
I know this all kind of got started very, very organically. Is there anything that you're planning or thinking, or you're just kind of one step at a time, let's see where this goes, even if it's outside of this family, something else that you saw what you guys can all put together? Is this something that, or like on an annual basis, maybe picking a family or something like that every year and doing something like that?
I don't know. This was more just
It was a spontaneous in a way thing
Yeah.
that just kind of, like you said, organically came to life. But who knows, let's, like we said, let's see where this goes.
He's asking us to take this band on tour.
Yeah, I know. Now in Wichita, Kym, Joey, and Mike show.
Hey, you never know.
All right, so how can people get tickets to the event? And I think you did mention how much they are. Can you mention that, as well as where is the event?
All right, so you can reach the Night to Give Back event page, and on Facebook, you can contact Kym D. You can contact Dolce Vita. We will arrange to pick up the tickets. There are no tickets that will be sold online. There are no tickets that will be sold at the door. As of right now, I think, we
only had 43 left.
Nice.
And we sold about 150 within the first day.
Wow. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's impressive.
It was crazy. And I'm
Good
like, this is
stuff.
going to be sold out. Now it's got a little bit of lull. Everyone's like, oh, we can get at the door. Oh, no, you can't get at the door. Fire law. Like a certain amount of people in the room.
Yeah.
Just like my last show. You sell 300 tickets and then 200 people are waiting outside.
It's awesome.
So we
Bring it to the parking lot.
Yes.
So you can definitely get them online, or not online. You can see online where to contact us to get it. Dolce Vita Media, Kym D, or the Singing Realtor, and we'll arrange to get the tickets to you, however so, and hope to see you there.
Awesome. Where was the location again?
It is at the Bordentown Elks Lodge in Bordentown, New Jersey.
Awesome. All right, cool. So from here, do we know if the families will actually be at the event, or are they not at the event? Is that like a preference?
The families are going to be there. We don't know how long, or it really depends how they're going to be feeling that night.
Absolutely.
Depending how Gabe's going to feel. He's a child. He's 15 years old, 14, 15 years old.
Yeah.
He's probably not going to be there all night because he's going to be the only kid. And he's
Sure.
a little out of place for him, but I think we're going to try and see if he's going to show up, if he's up to it. And Dawn is trying wholeheartedly to be there. So we hope, she said she's going to be there, so we're keeping our fingers crossed she is. Her family is. They've been very supportive. They were they got right on board, sold like 40 tickets right away, and more have been coming in. So it's been really nice, all the support that they've shown.
That's awesome. Now my question, one of my thoughts that always pops up in my head is, again, we're talking about putting your talents into action, right? What's your recommendation to anyone looking to use their talents to help those in need? What were your little scars or things that you got from learning? Like, all right, next time I'm not doing that.
Ooh, that's a hard question. Who wants to go first?
So, listen, those difficult things aren't necessarily bad things, right?
Yeah.
Those scars show they're part of who you are, right?
Yeah.
There's no knight that doesn't have some dings in his armor that isn't worth
Absolutely.
anything. So don't be set back by those if those happen. But just put it out there. Once you figure out what your talent is or what you're passionate about, because that's where your talent is, right? I tell people all the time. They say, "What should I do? I don't know what to do with the rest of my life." I say, "Tell me what you're doing when you're not working, or what when you're not thinking about working. Whatever
Right
you're
on.
doing at that time, that's kind of what you should be trying to monetize, because that's where your passion is. figure that out and get out there and start doing it. And all of a sudden, things will start to happen. Like, things will find you. You know, the Kym Ds of the world will find you, and the Joeys will find you and say, hey, let's do this, let's do that. And there may be some hiccups along the way, but that's all okay. That's part of the journey.
Absolutely.
Yeah, you always have an outline for the night, but you have to learn how to change the course because you just don't know what's going to happen. One of the guys from the DJ company, Rob, goes, I need to know how we're going to do this. And like, sometimes you can't. You just have to go with the flow and see how it's going to be.
Yeah.
And I like to, you always know what you're going to say. You're going to have your opening. You always want to have certain things that are going to go the way you want them in your head, but it never turns out that way.
Right, that's very true.
But you also want to see how the vibe is going to be in the room that night.
Yeah.
Just like you're going to know what type of music we're going to start with. Should we do this? Should we do that? So it's more so going to be on how the people are when they're going to come in. And I think they're going to be hopeful. I think they're going to be compassionate, happy to be out, and also to celebrate giving back to these people wholeheartedly, you know.
Also, I think the other important thing to add is you know, if you spoke about things of you know, hiccups or anything that you wouldn't have done or, you know, you learned from. The other thing is try not to be jaded because of that. Try not to base everything on the past, which didn't go well. Try to judge everything as is. You know, I mean, you know, it's not, don't hold grudges, but, you know, don't forget them either. Like, don't forget, but, you know, use that as a building block for how you're going to move forward.
Absolutely.
But, like, just don't hold everyone to the same account as because of your bitterness towards something that happened previously.
Right on. Yeah, I do think that all these, you know, our little experiences that we put together and use them as bricks, as foundation to kind of grow from there. You're going to stand that much taller the next time you do experience something that comes your way. Was there any parting words that you guys want to say for the actual event, for yourselves? Anything you want to share?
Definitely try to come out. Like Kym said, if you have the opportunity, get the tickets as soon as possible. There are only 40 or so left. It really is going to be a great event. You know, feel free to check any of us out online. Follow us on social media. If there's something that you think aligns with what you're doing, let us know. And if there's some way we can help, we will. If there's somebody that we know who can help, we'd be happy to try and plug you in with them. That's what it's all about, right? It's about creating relationships and networks and helping the greater good. That's
Absolutely.
what, yeah.
Yes,
Cool.
and all the companies who've been involved, including Mike's firm, the restaurants, Carlo, Quantum Design, Smyers Realty, New Jersey Buzz. There's so many people who've been involved in this, and
Brothers
it's just
Blend.
Brothers and Blend. There's a lot of people who care.
Yeah.
And a lot of people who want to make a difference, and they want to be there to help support. And I think being in your community and knowing that you do have some great businesses who want to give back. And we also can't forget about Marcello's and Toscanos and just Bordentown City in general really
Blessed.
came together. Blessed. Yeah, you guys.
Love
we,
the guys, and the gear, you guys, everything you're up to, man. Yeah, this is
Appreciate that.
you're going to
great
have to come
stuff.
that night and wear those
Appreciate
Vans.
that. And wear the Vans and my little dancing shoes. That's awesome. Well, my hats are off to you guys. I commend you all for putting this event together. I know it's not easy. I know it's going to be powerful. It's going to have a huge impact to the family and create waves that, you know, we can't even imagine now. So I commend you all. Great job. Good stuff. All right. So there you have it, folks. We'd like to close with 2 quotes, and the first one is by Henry Wadsworth Longfellow. The life of a man consists not in seeing visions and in dreaming dreams, but in active charity and in willing service. And the second one is by Emanuel Swedenborg. True charity is the desire to be useful to others with no thought of recompense. So there you have it, folks. A night to give back. In this episode, we have special guests Kym D, Mike Mumola, and Joey Domenic. We cover topics that range from event planning, charitable giving, the community united, using our talents, and much more. We wrap the episode up with quotes by Emanuel Swedenborg and Henry Wadsworth Longfellow. Awesome. Guys, thanks again for joining us. The Rotated Views podcast was produced for self-development purposes. Huge shout out to our sponsors. This episode is brought to you by the Blessed Lifestyle brand. That is BL3SSED.com. Also sponsored by The Motivation Files Unleashed. This motivational mixtape will be your fuel for success. Available on all platforms. Guys, don't forget to visit the website, JimmyleeVelez.com. Follow us on Facebook and Instagram at Rotated Views. If you have any inquiries or questions, email us at info@JimmyleeVelez.com. On behalf of myself and the rest of the crew, we wish you massive success. Stay blessed.